I think that organisations that and have not considered transformation take a huge risk from a business point of view. And my advice is you need to start thinking about this very seriously, because if you aren't embracing technology in some way, shape or form, you are going to be run over by your competitor who does. So even in self-defense, you have to look at it very seriously.
I think the overhang from the previous underinvestment, things that have kind of happened over the last 20 years or so, that people are realizing that they need to take stock of what they have and then move on. So there's a lot of scope for digital transformation right now. So you start thinking that people need to actively take stock of what they have and move themselves over to these new platforms and these new technologies. And that's not easy. That's a nuts and bolts conversation. You need the guys and the technical skills to actually be able to gravitate that move. And you know, that's sometimes not, that's the unsung part of digital transformation. But once you do that, then you have these things that enable your organization to make predictive analytics, things like, you know, which are not like the end state, but rather the next step in terms of optimizing your business. Yeah?
Don't underestimate the amount of investment that you need to put in. And if you feel uncomfortable with that investment, remember what you haven't invested in the past. So you need that to catch up. But the benefit, as you've said, the benefit that people have now who are starting is this late mover benefit. They're going to leap over a whole bunch of legacy stuff. In supply chain, the systems that most people are getting over are spreadsheets and paper. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that, yes.
You pull together other people in the C-suite, CEO, CIO, CTO, CFO, and go away for a day or two and start with the vision of what your organisation needs to look like in 5 and 10 years' time. Engage thought leaders in that conversation so that they can help you think about where your industry is going. You know, for instance, in the supply chain industry, one of the things that we have to look at is, will 3D printing affect the industry in 5 to 10 years, for instance, as a technology? Then you can come back into the organisation and start looking at the changes that you need to make. And there's 4 levers that the C-suite have to pull in change. People, processes, data. Data is going to be the lifeblood of it. Not only how you use the data to monetize the data, to build new businesses, but also how you use the data to measure whether you're making the changes that you want to. And then the technology. The technology is the tool to get it done. It's not the end in itself.
I mean, I would concur with what Barb said previously. She's absolutely spot on. In terms of things that you shouldn't do, it's don't underestimate the change that needs to happen. You need to actively look at how you do change management in your organization in terms of culture and the vision and the approach. You should not underestimate that. You shouldn't think that, okay, this week I'm going to run the organization the same way. Once I do digital transformation, I'm going to run the organization the same way. There is a difference in the whole outlook. There has to be proper change management. You have to get the business guys along, because one of the key value drivers of digital transformation and moving the supply chain industry in the way that it embraces these new technologies is to make sure that the benefits are tangible. So that moves on to my second point. Don't underestimate or undervalue some of the contributions from these technologies towards your top line. Traditionally, IT and technology teams have always been very shared services focused, kind of cost center kind of level. So I think the shift has to happen whereby people look at this more from a top line point of view. How do I help my business make money, make the best decisions, make the organizational change that is supported by this technology in a way that these technologies you get these drivers to work for you. So that should be key. The third thing I would say is don't get taken up with the hype cycle. There's a lot of people selling stuff that, pushing stuff which is maybe right for the industry, maybe right for another player, but it might not be right for you. So you need to look at what's right for you. You need to bite off what you can chew.
I think I'd like to make one further comment though. One risk I'd like to call out. A successful transforming company will not abdicate the responsibility for the transformation to the CIO and CTO. The whole of the C-suite, led by the CEO, has to be integral to making that happen.